broke, aren't you? But let me stop laughing because this is a serious matter. But imagine you are broke because of the weather. Like, the weather. Yes, let me tell you about it. You see, it's only been 6 months down this year, and so far you have seen how March to April, the season of long rains, has already treated us. March itself has not been matching. What do I mean? This was a season that we expected long rains to hit our country left and center on the highlands. But what happened? It was reduced to short rains, short showers, but only for a few days. The impact is what you and me are experiencing: high food prices. But that is problem number 3. What is problem number 1 and 2? Follow through, I take you through. This is what has been happening. You see, for food to reach at your table, it must have come from somewhere, and that somewhere is all known to you: the farm. So let's head there and see what's happening on that farm and how that is making you live with the effects of climate change and burdening on your pocket. So here is it. You see, the farm is where now everything begins. This is where the rain falls, this is where the manure is applied, this is where the floods come, this is where the drought come. You see, with climate change, things are different right now. The seasons are not the same. This is because now the climate is changing and the global warming has had a significant effect. I do not have to tell you about the effects of global warming, right? You already know. You have already read books and even done campaigns on climate change. Probably even participated in one. But nonetheless, you see, as I have told you, this is where now the rain hits the ground. You see, for a farmer, he has planted trees, crops, and anything in between that he has to sell. But now the rain do not come. Or in extreme measures, it comes, but it comes in form of floods, because the trickle-down effect is all too familiar with what me and you do experience. You see, when the rains are not there, that means that there's no harvest to be done, and that is where now we're already losing it. This is because of the many reasons that I've already told you about. But what is the effect that we are talking about here, and how does it even make you broke in the first place? You see, the farmer has an objective when he's planting those trees. That's a business. It's an agri-business. He has to feed the entire nation, or even more, feed his community that he's living in. But now, look at what is happening. There's very little supply on the food chain. You see, if the farmer was harvesting 50 bags, and the climate change now here has already affected his farm, is going to be having 10 or 15. That is way less. But look at the demand. The population is growing, everything is increasing, and that demands that the food must be of equal measure that is being produced. The inequality is already present, and that leads us to project number 2. You see, we are having so many people on the line of food production. We have the mama mboga that they are at your estate. We have everybody in between, the fruit vendors, and they all rely directly from what the farmer is producing. Now, look at this way. There's low food supply from the farmer. Then, you as the person who is operating the same business that does directly benefit from agribusiness, what are you going to be selling? You see, the thing that is going to be happening there is that you have reduced stock, or even in extreme cases, you'll have to close shop because there's nothing to sell. There's nothing at all for you to sell. And that is what now leads us to these 3 problems. High food prices. They all come from when the production cost is too high, or when the demand is really increasing and cannot be met by the supply that the farmers are providing. And nonetheless, if you're having even the supply that is already there, you'll find that that food does not feed everybody. And if it's there, it's still expensive. And in most cases, it's not even there in the first place. And that brings out the all logic why it's hard for you to feed yourself and even have food at the end of the day at your table. Perhaps if we do things differently, we may be able to touch the future and save it. And on that, I cannot stress more on the importance of mitigating climate change. I think you're well informed.